Ekonomija llum, Fiera tal-Amara f'Milan, it-turiżmu fil-Baħar l-Iswed, l-intelligenza artifiċjali fl-imħażen. Iżda nibdew b'aktar kontrolli fuq il-fruntiera bejn ir-Renju Unit u l-Unjoni Ewropea. Għaddew 4 snin minn r-Renju Unit ħareġ mill-Unjoni Ewropea. F'ċertu setturi ekonomiċi uħud qed jirrealizzaw li bi Brexit mhux kollox wartu żgħar u li l-ar jafadu ġej. Mill-31 ta' Jannar li għadda, esportaturi Ewropej tal-laħam, ħut, ġobon, prodotti tal-ħalib u fjuri ġew obbligati jippreżentaw ċertifikati tas-saħħa firmati minn veterinarju jew spettur tal-pjanti talba li bejjija bl-imnut u bejjija bl-ingrossa żgħar Brittaniċi qed jgħidu li tista' tittardja il-wasla tal-merkanzija b'ġimgħat. Issa, minn 8 April, ir-Renju Unit se jdaħħal kontrolli ġodda fuq il-fruntiera mal-Unjoni Ewropea. Dawn il-kontrolli u l-impożizzjoni ta' tariffi u ħlasijiet ogħla mistennija jirrestrinġu l-varjetà u l-freskezza ta' ikel artiġanali fin minn aġin u ġobon sa' żejt ta' żebbuġa. L-inkwiet tal-Ingliżi u l-prezzijiet se jgħolew. Il-Gvern Ingliż qed jinsisti li dawn il-kontrolli l-ġodda se jgħinu biex jipprevjenu mart milli jidħol fl-Ingilterra u fl-Iskozja. Qed jgħid ukoll li kumpaniji u esportaturi mir-Renju Unit se jibbenefikaw minn dawn il-kontrolli. Fl-2021 l-Unjoni Ewropea kienet infurzat ir-regoli tagħha b'mod immedjat u dan kien wassal għal dewmien fil-portijiet. Panzer Delicatessen b'75 sena ta' storja fl-industrija tal-ikel fir-Renju Unit hija kumpanija li tbieħ prodotti minn aktar minn 80 pajjiż u tforni kważi 200 ristorant. Sit l-istabbiliment David Josephs jgħid li Brexit kien diżastru għan-negozju tiegħu.
Brexit has basically been a disaster. It's created labour shortages, it's created additional costs for no purpose, it's created bureaucracy, a huge range of bureaucracy, a whole empire has been built as a result of Brexit, which is totally uncalled for. We now have to register paperwork 24 hours to 48 hours in advance of shipping, whereas before we could have it within hours and just ship the goods, and it causes delays at borders even though we have the paperwork, and it just adds cost to the end user, which for no purpose, and we get a worse service. We would typically be shipping through 3 or 4 or 5, 6 suppliers and manufacturers or producers across Europe, and we would consolidate shipments. And now it's virtually impossible to do this because you have to create the paperwork and register it beforehand, but you can't consolidate orders in the same way. So we've had a recent shipment that we've been trying to ship from Sicily for now nearly 3 months, and lining up the paperwork has just been a complete nightmare, and the cost of shipping is triple with the paperwork that it was prior to these new regulations. Whereas I could easily consolidate an order, put it onto an invoice and ship it. Now we have to get authorities out there to approve each shipment to see whether or not it's able to be done, which seems incredibly stupid, and I cannot understand what the purpose of this is for.
Nick Carlucci huwa d-direttur ta' Tenuta Marmorelle, kumpanija Taljana bbażata f'Berkshire. Jimporta prodotti u artiġanali tipikament Taljani fir-Renju Unit.
It's okay if we were bringing a whole lorry load of products, but we're bringing over artisanal products from small producers with a short shelf life. So we need to have those products turning over constantly. So it's a big worry for us actually, and it can impact our products quite a lot because you can't get so much on a pallet.
Carlucci jgħid li l-kumpanija tiegħu timporta 20 ta' pallets fil-ġimgħa u l-ispejjeż il-ġodda se jnaqsulu l-profitti mill-inqas 10%.
Fortunately, we do have to pass on the costs. We can't absorb all these costs that just keep coming out of thin air. We do our best to absorb as much as we can, but we have to pass it on to our customers, which are farm shops, food halls and delis, and unfortunately they have to pass it on to the final consumer.
Brexit kellha tfisser tnaqqis fil-burokrazija, iżda ġabet aktar milli ta' karti.
It's made things much harder. It's made things much more expensive, and also very tricky to get stuff in because we're not the only people affected. All our wholesalers, all the transport is also affected, which means stuff either comes late, it comes out of date. There are many suppliers who now won't distribute to the UK. The paperwork itself wants to make you cry. I mean, look, every time there's been a change, there's been disastrous disruption. Now, we were 30,000 customs agents short in 2016 when the vote took place. We are 30,000 customs agents short now Tilbury, all the docks that were built, Havering, whatever, are not ready, and they're not going to be ready. I mean, the government, they have done nothing. They did nothing straight away. There was no infrastructure put in place, and they have done nothing since.
Sissa għadu mhux ċar kemm se jkunu frekwenti l-kontrolli tal-fruntiera illi se jitlu fit-8 April.
We're concerned that the businesses, the traders in the EU, the logistics companies in the EU, and indeed even the businesses in the UK who are importing the goods, don't really know where the border control posts are going to be, what the processes are going to be, or indeed the categories of products that are going to be subject to percentage stops and checks, and so that there is a very real risk of product being delayed at the border control posts or on export, and even goods being returned. And when you're talking about the food supply chain, it's a 24-hour supply chain. It's a supply chain where minutes and hours really matter. So any delay, any disruption causes a real problem, both for the exporter and for businesses in the UK. So we do have a concern that further disruption, further uncertainty could have quite a significant knock-on effect for consumers in the UK and also for the food manufacturing sector.
Min-naħa tiegħu il-Gvern tar-Renju Unit qed jgħid li se jkun prammatiku u ma jistennix tfixkil partikolari għall-importaturi. Qed jisma' pereżempju li r-regoli l-ġodda se jżidu l-ispejjeż għall-importaturi kollettivament bi 330 miljun lira fis-sena u se jżidu l-inflazzjoni tal-ikel b'0.2% biss fuq 3 snin. F'Marzu tas-sena li għaddiet fir-Renju Unit l-inflazzjoni fuq l-ikel kienet tinsab fl-ogħla livelli f'dawn l-aħħar 45 sena. Id-dinja tal-AI waslet fl-imħażen ukoll qed tagħmel leġubijiet fejn jidħol stock taking. Kumpanija bbażata fir-Renju Unit żviluppat robots ġganti u awtonomi li x-xogħol primarju tagħhom huwa li jassu l-imħażen. Dawn ir-robots jitalmu waħedhom fejn għandhom iħarsu, jużaw apparat apposta, jiskenjaw dak kollu li hemm madwarhom u janalizzaw miljuni ta' data points. Dan kollu jsir wara li jkunu bnew mudell tridimensjonali u dettaljat ħafna tal-maħżen. Bekk ikunu jistgħu jagħtu stampa ċara, reali u dettaljata filwaqt li joffru opportunitajiet ta' analiżi u tbassir immedjat.
They're the world's tallest autonomous robots, so they're the size of a warehouse rack. They're about 12.5 meters tall, which gives them the ability as they pass through the warehouse to scan everything in one swift go, in one swift pass. So they have a number of cameras, they have a number of laser measurement systems on them. And this gives them the ability to create a digital copy of the rack and really understand how goods are being kept, how efficiently the pallet space is being utilized. And basically, it helps the warehouse operators to run their facility in the most efficient way. So basically, the robot will fire all these points from its LiDAR sensors, will look at where it is in the warehouse. So it will understand where it is in relationship to the environment. So it allows it to stay localized. And it will update its previous map, so it will look and perceive the surroundings and say, hey, things have changed, but now I can make a new model, I can make a new 3D copy of the environment, so now I have an updated map. The artificial intelligence that we embed inside the device allows it to operate without any kind of intervention required. So it will go around forklifts, it will seamlessly navigate in busy warehouses, but also other types of algorithms and machine learning systems that we have allow us to transform the data the robots collect into actionable insights. So we extract information from the LiDAR, from the laser measurement data, from the machine vision systems, and we can offer immediate actions that you can take to run the space to make the warehouse more efficient.
The main benefit is a single source of the truth, and utilising the technology at the front end in terms of capturing using cameras, having the ability to add to the solution so we can capture temperature monitoring, Wi-Fi coverage, heat mapping, all these various different things that can integrate to that digital twin, allow us to have the single source of that truth and then utilise that data for an insight. It's far too easy to have lots of data and get lost in the world of how do I interpret this? And the really clever part of what they've delivered for us is that ability for us to drop in different ways. We can see either in a data format, we can see a summary format, we can see visual images as well. So it allows us using that digital twin to really bring to life what's happening and make decisions based upon visual. And that is massively important in this environment.
Il-mistoqsija l-kbira tibqa' dik ta' dejjem. L-AI se jieħu post il-bniedem?
No, I don't think it's replacing humans. I think the reality is, if you take what the core case behind it is, which is, understanding your inventory and validating your inventory on a daily basis, that requires people and it requires equipment. And the big challenge becomes in peak periods where, volume becomes massively important. Are those people and equipment still available to do the work? So that started our journey in how we did that. But actually the reality is we haven't replaced, because we're not doing a like for like. We're not giving a customer once a month, we count your stock as maybe the requirement. We're doing it every day. So we're not replacing something, we're actually enhancing it. And that means that for our colleagues, it's positive, because when they go to a location, they have faith that the location has the product in it. Therefore, they see the benefit of working alongside the robot, and it becomes a positive influence on the working environment.
Skont Dexery, l-ispejjeż biex wieħed jinvesti f'sistema bħal din mhumiex ta' barra minn hawn.
We did everything we could to remove adoption barriers. So this doesn't come with a very high capital investment cost. It's very much targeted and tailored around the monthly subscription as you benefit from the service, as you benefit from the value that the technology brings. It's obviously a cost per month that customers need to pay to subscribe to the software platform.
Din is-sena aktar minn 10,000 turist huma mistennija jżuru l-Kosta tal-Baħar l-Iswed fir-Rumanija fil-perjodu ta' l-ewwel ta' Mejju u dan għaliex din is-sena il-festa se taħbad ftit ġranet biss qabel iċ-ċelebrazzjonijiet tal-Għid il-Kbir Ortodoss. Il-managers tal-lukandi u l-operaturi tat-tours qed jippreżentaw offerti attraenti għal dawk li jgawdu l-baħar, bars, lukandi u ristoranti u bajjiet qed jgħaddu mit-tħejjijiet tal-aħħar minuti. Minkejja li l-Ministeru għat-Turiżmu tal-pajjiż qal li l-bajjiet kollha se jinfetħu għad hemm ħafna sezzjonijiet tal-bajjiet li ma jistgħux jiġu rranġati. Fl-istess ħin il-managers tal-lukandi qed iħabtu wiċċhom ma' problema antika, jiġifieri n-nuqqas ta' ħaddiema kwalifikati u dan peress li l-operaturi tat-tours qed jiddeċidu dejjem aktar li jagħżlu ħaddiema minn barra. Ir-rati tal-akkomodazzjoni għal kull kamra fil-bidu tal-istaġun f'Mamara jibda minn 350 lej, jiġifieri madwar 70 euro għal kull lejl. U dan mingħajr l-ikliet. Mamaja u Vama Veċe huma fost ir-riżorts l-aktar infittxija fuq il-Baħar l-Iswed għal dawk li jħobbu jagħmlu ġita fil-bidu ta' Mejju. It-62 edizzjoni tas-Salone del Mobile f'Milan magħrufa wkoll bħala l-Fira tal-Amara ta' Milan kellha tendenza rekord din is-sena. Żaruha aktar minn 360,000 ruħ, żieda ta' 17% fuq is-sena li għaddiet, b'aktar minn nofs il-viżitaturi ġew minn barra l-pajjiż. Ir-riżultati kienu tajbin ukoll minħabba l-preżenza akbar ta' eżebituri, 27% aktar mis-sena li għaddiet u l-fuq minn 65% minnhom waslu minn barra l-Italja. Is-Salone del Mobile huwa avveniment rinomat globalment tas-settur tal-amara u d-disin, u meqjus bħala l-avveniment internazzjonali ewlieni għall-industrija tad-disin. Jiġbed kważi 2000 kumpanija ewlenija f'din l-industrija minn madwar id-dinja kollha. Il-fiera ssir fiċ-ċentru tal-konvenzjonijiet Fiera Milano li jinsab f'Roma dwar 30 minuta vjaġġ bil-karozza jew bil-ferrovija miċ-ċentru ta' Milan. L-avveniment kien miftuħ għal kummerċ biss, għal maġġoranza tal-ħin tiegħu, biem limitati għal pubbliku ġenerali u għall-istudenti.